Well, hello, Andrew Doubleday yet again, and we're moving deeper into Lent, and our Gospel reading for this Sunday is Sunday the 21st, is for me a little bit of an uncomfortable one. It's a passage that I'd almost rather wasn't one that I had to deal with, and I think when I often come to it, and I suspect it's true for many of us, there is a temptation to just quickly read through it or skip over it. But we pick the narrative up. It's in John chapter 12, verses 20 through to 33. Now, among those who went up to worship at the festival were some Greeks. They came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee, and said to him, "Sir, we wish to see Jesus." Philip went and told Andrew. Then Andrew and Philip went and told Jesus. He answered them, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Very truly I tell you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains just a single grain, but if it dies, it bears much fruit. Those who love their life lose it, and those who hate their life in this world will keep it for eternal life. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, there my servant will be also. Whoever serves me, the Father will honour. Now my soul is troubled. And what should I say? Father, save me from this hour? No. It's for this reason I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came from heaven. "I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again." The crowd standing there heard it, and said that it was thunder. Others said, "An angel has spoken to him." Jesus answered, "This voice has come for your sake, not for mine. Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be driven out. And I, when I'm lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself." He said this to indicate the kind of death he was to die. Well, this is Holy Week. Not for us here, but in the text. It's in that last week of Jesus' life. The feast that they've come up for, the feast that they're looking forward to, the feast that they're engaging in, is the Passover. Perhaps the most important of Jewish feasts, celebrating their preparation to move from slavery into freedom. And I want us to notice today Jesus' self-understanding. Jesus is clear about what's ahead of him, but he describes it in a peculiar way. He says, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified." Then he continues to talk about his death. "Unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains a single grain. But if it dies, it bears much fruit." You see, Jesus doesn't see his pending death as a defeat. He sees it as a victory. This doesn't mean he's looking forward to it, because clearly he isn't. But he still sees it as a moment of victory. And this is hard for us. It's certainly hard for me to get my heart and my head around. There's part of me that is repulsed by the idea. And it is because I, as I think with most of us, wish to avoid suffering where we can. The disciples don't get it easy either. You know, as we read the gospel accounts, they're appalled at this idea that he's going up to Jerusalem to be arrested, to be tried, to be put to death in this cruel and brutal way. They don't get it. I was listening to an American preacher some months back who gave a very good address. And his name's Andy Stanley. He's the son of Charles Stanley. He's got a small to moderate sized mega church, if you can kind of understand what I mean. And he puts it this way. He says the disciples might ask Jesus, "Jesus, if you're arrested and killed, how are we going to win?" "That's how I'm going to win," Jesus would say. "I'm going to Jerusalem to lose their games, and in doing so will win the game that I've been inviting you to play for 3 years." You see, Jesus is talking about a completely different kind of kingdom here, where the first will be last and the last will be first, because there is no first and no last. In Jesus' kingdom, we're all invited to serve one another, to seek the highest and best good of others. Stanley defines a servant as one who wakes up every single day thinking about how to better serve someone else. One who is committed to leveraging themselves, their resources, for the benefit of someone else. This is kingdom living. He has some more choice quotations. I just love them. Just listen to this. The church always looks more like Christ when we are defending other people's rights rather than our own. You kind of get this? The church always looks more like Christ when we are giving away rather than demanding our way. It's very opposite for today. And if you aren't willing to lose, to go to the back of the line, then don't bother getting in my line. Think, ooh, wow. But here again, the words of Jesus. Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be driven out. And I, when I'm lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself. Obviously, Jesus is playing, as Stanley says, by a completely different set of rules. It's counterintuitive. Jesus is talking about snatching victory from the jaws of obvious defeat. Glorified and is glorified through the pain of his own self-offering, of his own giving of himself. Jesus cast his cross as his glory. The moment that he wins by losing the game of the world anyway. And I've had it put to me that Mel Gibson, you know, that famous and well-developed theologian, he's the one who actually gets it right in his The Passion of the Christ. Satan in this story loses by winning. If you pay careful attention to the moment in the movie of Jesus' death, you see at the moment he dies, you see the temple is torn, there's an earthquake, and in that second, this shadowy character who has been in the background through the key moments in Jesus' life, he's watching, and suddenly there's a moment of realization, and you see this hair shoot up like a wig, and he's exposed, and he screams out in agony and in rage, because in that moment when he thinks he's won, he realizes that he has lost. He's been playing to the wrong set of rules. Satan loses when he wins. Wow. The kingdom of God then comes when we choose to give rather than to take. When we're ultimately willing to embrace our death for the sake of others rather than insisting on our rights to living. Jesus wins. The kingdom has come when he loses by the current world order's rules. Rules that say that success, that power, that comfort, that prosperity are all that matters, and that these are signs of God's blessing. And Jesus says no. We play to lose that game so that we can win the kingdom game. The game where compassion, generosity, seeking the highest, best and good for the other are the ultimate symbols of success. Because by these rules, the game proves to be synergistic. And for those of you who don't understand what I mean, synergy is where the sum is greater than the total of the parts. So 1 plus 1 equals 2 in usual arithmetic. But in synergy, 1 plus 1 might equal 3 or 9 or 124. That because we are working together, the outcome is so much greater. Jesus is inviting us to play a game where the rules, when we play by his rules, prove to be synergistic. when we play by those rules, the rules of generosity and of grace and of compassion and kindness and goodness, we're all winners. The rules that the world plays by is a zero-sum game. A zero-sum game is for where one person to win, others have to lose. Jesus comes to lose that game and to show us that by losing that game, we can all win and we can all be winners. The seed that dies, he says, and falls into the ground is an act of self-giving. It bears much fruit. When it dies, it proves to be synergistic. It just gives so much more. It's good news, isn't it? Finally, I want us to notice how the passage starts, and this is where I started with it when I was preparing. It starts with Greeks. It says some Greeks came to see Jesus. Now, I'm wanting to suggest that these are people who have come up for the Jewish feast of the Passover. So they're likely to be people who have embraced Judaism. They're converts to Judaism. They are not natural born, but they are people from the Gentile world who have embraced the way of Judaism. And they've been fascinated by Jesus. They have taken this step out of their own previous life into a new way of encountering God, and in Jesus they see something even more authentic, and they want to know more. I want us to notice who they approach. There are two disciples with Greek names, only two. There's Philip and there's Andrew. They approach Philip. And who does Philip go to? He goes to the other one with a Greek name, which is Andrew. Now, Andrew happens to be Simon's brother. Simon is a Hebrew name, but Andrew is a Greek one. And interestingly, they both, Simon, Andrew, Peter, they live in the very north of the country, right towards the border with Syria. And so they're more likely to have had interchange with the Gentile, with the Greek, with the non-Jewish world. And they're seen to be safe people to talk to. That we are all seen to be safe people for people to talk to about Jesus. And so that's the thing that sets the message off. They approach Jesus. And Jesus, when he hears that, he said, my time finally has come. Up until then, he's been saying, my time has not yet come, but now he says the hour has come. And what's the message? I want to suggest that this is for everyone. It may be timed at the Jewish Passover feast, but ultimately when he's lifted up, he says, I will draw all people to myself. Not just Jewish people, not just Jews and proselytes, but there's an opportunity for everyone to start playing a game by a new set of rules. A new set of rules where the kingdom of God has come, where we all can prosper, where we can all live in generosity and grace and discover the fullness of our humanity because of what Jesus has done. He also talks of this as his glory. It's because it's God's glory. It is the ultimate demonstration of God's love, counterintuitive though it may seem. For God, for Jesus, this is a moment of victory as it shows the self-giving, loving character of God. And we're all invited to see that and to embrace it and to know ourselves to be held and to be safe, because this demonstrates God's commitment to us, to you and to me. God bless you.